afternoon, everybody. Kevin Mooney here with you alongside Chris Douglas and Jason Hamo.
Hello there.
You're listening to 88.9 FM WNYO, the Laker Radio Network, from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. today. This station has been taken over by WNYO and WOCR alumni, and this hour is sponsored by Altogether Now,
The Throwing Bagels podcast.
Now, what is that, you ask? Well, it is a podcast kind of about Oswego, because we want to we want to tell everyone that NYO currently does a great podcast, the Oswego Alumni Podcast. They do that with Dee Perkins, fantastic podcast, and it features a lot of great alumni. And for us, we have alumni. We talk about Oswego, but we also talk about the college itself. And we have head coaches on. We talk a little sports. And I think that's what it initially was, guys. It was
it was started that way. We were mainly sports pretty much the whole time, and then that's when we slowly morphed.
The three of us started like. Are we good now?
We're good now. I think we're good now.
All right, good. Because the three of us really, and how this whole thing started was we were just texting back and forth with each other, right?
Yeah.
And we were like, hey, what about a podcast? And that's what we did.
I couldn't say no. Like, I had no excuse to not do a podcast.
Exactly.
So
and then here we are.
Right.
And now we're famous.
Right.
Famous. Right.
We even broke into Hewitt Hall's new podcast studio yesterday.
That's right.
That was wonderful.
That was fun. Made fun of some people with their spreadsheet.
What is it doing,
I don't know, dude. I don't know.
Come
that was
on.
just weird. We need to find out. I walked past it after. It looked like it was for a class, but it was Friday night.
Friday night,
like
8 o'clock?
Yeah. Like, come on.
All right, so let's talk a little bit more about who we are exactly. So, Kevin Mooney here and Jason Hamo.
I'm here.
Chris Douglas.
That's right.
We're all broadcasting majors.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. As we go back in the late '90s / early aughts, and we all of us have spent various times on WNYO, haven't we, guys?
Yeah. I mean, we were. We were just talking to Chris about it just now. We did the Sports Zone.
The
Sports
Zone
back in
radio
the day. How
talk
about
show
that?
back in the day that would run, I think, every Tuesday night.
Yeah.
And then you used to do it was all sports. I used to do some sports news, during someone's shift, and then I would do just hockey games and reporting into hockey games, and that was it.
Yep, yeah, that's basically
my college career.
That's basically it. Yeah, I mean, that's basically mine in a nutshell as well. Minus a few things there, but for us, we enjoyed listening to NYO as well. The fellow classmates had some great shows. I know Brian Drake had a wrestling show that was quite famous on campus, so we really enjoyed listening to that. But yeah, I mean, geez, NYO. It's come a long way, hasn't it? With some of this automation and stuff.
It's crazy.
It's really cool. It really is cool just to come back and see all this stuff and kind of get to play with it. And man, what a blast!
Yes, and so for me, I mean, and we all jumped in right away. So I remember, first time doing some training, we had to take the test. Right?
Yeah.
What are the 7 words you can't say? And,
should we say them?
We can't. Yeah.
No, we have definitely not. And then I managed to get up somehow to do a morning show, because back then there was a waiting list, right?
Yeah,
people would sign
right.
up for shifts 24/7 around the clock, and you still had people waiting for spots to open up. So went from there, and then I wound up doing a specialty show, like classic rock, and of course we did play-by-play for men's hockey. And there was some basketball too, that we were a part of. So
That's
it was just a great time to be a part of WNYO, because at that point, still in the late 90s, NYO was kind of ruled the roost in terms of play-by-play sports coverage.
That's right.
Where NYO wasn't really, TOP, wasn't quite there yet, because they had a ton of equipment. They had to move back and forth.
It was hard. It was hard for radio
It was
too.
literally
though.
impossible. Last night I was telling someone about that, and I said we would have to literally take part the studio in TOP, bring it to Romney Fieldhouse. It wasn't like it was so close that it is now.
Right.
Lug it to Romney Fieldhouse. Cables, everything.
Everything.
Record it, edit it, the game wouldn't air for like a week after the game actually was played live. It was like, why are we even airing this? It was like a week later.
It was practice.
It was something.
Listen, you have to walk before you can run.
That's right. That's exactly it.
And now, TOP, now you can basically watch it from your home, throw YouTube
that's
on.
awesome.
Just
so
that's
awesome.
nutty, man.
And then NYO, you can listen anywhere.
Yeah,
That's right.
Anywhere, anytime. And we're going to actually have Derik Clark, the WNYO sports director, on in our next segment. We look forward to talking to him about, what NYO does these days in terms of sports coverage and how it's done. And because back in our day, everything was you had to preempt programming to air sports coverage. And
now you don't have to do that. Now they have streams.
Now they have streams. It's fantastic.
Wait, we got to take a commercial break?
Yeah, we do.
Come on.
I know, right? We got to pay some bills, Chris. We got to pay some bills.
And we could play music on this version.
Yes.
On this live edition of the Throwing Bagels podcast, we can actually play music.
And we will.
We will.
We will.
We got some good ones.
A few songs. By the way, I have to say something really quickly.
Yes.
I got to get it. I'd be remiss to say has nothing to do with the Throwing Bagels podcast, but I want to wish my daughter Sydney good luck because she's got her softball tryouts going on right now.
All right, let's go, Sydney. Let's go. Let's go, Sydney.
Good luck. Good luck.
You guys did you tell some of your friends and family that we were going to be live today?
I think you shouldered the burden on that one.
I was telling people, but I don't know if they're actually listening.
I don't know if they're listening either, but hey, you never know. Maybe I'll get a text message saying, hey, great job.
Yeah.
You sound great.
I doubt it, but
I doubt it too.
I know my wife's not listening because she's at my daughter's tryout.
So we were, and thanks to Dr. Knapp. We've had Dr. Jennifer Knapp, the dean of the College of Communication, Media, and the Arts, on our podcast a few times, and we were able to attend the ribbon cutting last night at Hewitt Hall and taking a tour of the place, and it's amazing, guys.
Yeah,
really
that
is.
place looks fantastic.
It's awesome.
From walking in there, I got here yesterday super early because I left my house at 4:15 in the morning to drive up here. Got here at 8:30 in the morning, and Dr. Knapp got me a conference room to work out of.
How about that?
Right? She got me a conference room to work out of for the day so I could do my work and have to take a day off. And then I just wandered around a little bit here and there, and the place is just beautiful. It's
immaculate.
so nice.
It's immaculate.
Yeah.
Like it's brand new.
Yeah. It's got that fresh building smell
It
to
does.
it. Yeah.
Fresh paint.
Yeah.
The fresh joint compound that they sanded down and painted over. Oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
You've got the caulking. Oh,
Mwah.
beautiful. But yeah, we I think we mentioned earlier that we did a really short podcast in the new podcast studio. Derek happened to catch us while we were walking out of the ballroom last night. Hey, you guys want to do a podcast? We're like, yeah, we do. We sure do.
We will do a podcast anytime, anywhere.
Literally. And the event last night was remarkable too.
Yes.
All the guests, speakers, and the awards that were given out last night. It was very cool. Very cool.
Yeah, and the film that's being aired, screened right now. That I actually want to see it, but obviously I can't go because we're here. Hopefully, I can see that film, at another time. So
Yes, agreed.
But just thinking about what Hewitt Hall is going to mean for students going forward, it literally gives them. I think Dr. Knapp had mentioned that there was nowhere for art students or music students. There was really nowhere for them to go and have a place.
Right.
And now they have a place. And now
Yeah, they
really
do.
anyone within CMA, they have a place to do things.
yeah, and that's all in one
you
building.
name it. Yeah.
Whereas before it was like spread out. Like
Right.
Tyler Hall had a bunch of things.
Yep.
The graphic arts people, I don't even know where they had classes. I think I remember when I was in school, we had a guy on my floor that did graphic arts. I think he was like in Rich Hall. He was in Tyler
Yeah,
Hall.
I think it was Rich Hall, as a matter of fact.
It was
Yeah.
random places.
Yep.
And now it's all in one place.
And it's we joke all the time like, oh, you guys have it so much better than we do, but I'm actually really excited about the future. You know what I mean? Like it's so I'm not envious. I'm not jealous. Like I'm just very excited about it.
I'm jealous.
I'm a little jealous, not gonna lie.
Come on.
But I'm excited too.
Right,
It's really
of course,
cool.
But there's got to be a little twinge of jealousy in there. Come on.
I mean,
a little bit.
just a little bit. Touch.
But you know what? I know we were all talking a lot about, and we'll get into this a little bit later, I'm sure. But we want to talk about places we've been and our favorite memories of being students here on campus, and places maybe we visited off campus and what have you. But because it was funny, because we actually were talking about this yesterday, right? And we
were
about some of our favorite places to be. And I'm trying to get used to this whole talking until we have to take a break, right?
The constraints of radio.
Yeah. Constraints of radio.
Oh, radio.
So we don't really do this on the podcast. It's like a whole different change. And, and it's great that actually WNYO has its own podcasting studio, because then broadcasting majors have even more opportunities, to do the things that they really want to do.
Yeah, it's, it's fantastic that you have so many different places you can go and so many different things you can do. And now, like we just said with the new building, right? There's podcasting studios, right? That we mentioned that we were on last night. Like you can go there and you can have your own podcast and just do it. And I think there's two of them, right? I believe.
There's more than one for sure.
Yeah.
But the studio we were in last night, it's got cameras too, so like you can live stream, right? Like you see, like my favorite show, the Dan Le Batard Show. They do the same thing. It's a podcast. It's video and audio. Yeah. So like that's amazing. Like we would never have dreamt of anything like that back in the day. We were just happy to be on the airwaves and whatnot.
Yeah, with our board that apparently caught fire somewhat.
It did. We were advised before we started here that it caught fire. Board. That's right. I'm surprised it was still in use, to be honest.
Yeah, exactly.
But there were a lot of references to the sweet shop, and when it was the Hewitt Union, there used to be the little store, and it was. I think I would have appreciated it more if I had actually drank coffee back then. But I wasn't really much of a coffee drinker. But I did like the chocolate-covered coffee beans that they had. They had the roasted cappuccino beans.
They were delicious.
I don't eat anything with coffee in it.
It's weird, so man. Do you drink tea?
Only when I'm sick. Like if I have a sore throat, that's the only time.
So you're just downing beer and water.
I drink iced tea. But yeah, pretty much. and Arnold Palmer's.
And Arnold Palmer's. Yeah. Like the canned ones, or like
the canned ones. Like the alcoholic and non-alcoholic.
I gotcha.
Varieties.
Okay, very good. That's what I was trying to get at.
That's funny. Well, for me, like my fridge, when I lived in Lonis, I had the Single.
Oh, I love Lonis, man.
It was so nice.
Oh, so awesome.
I miss that place. But my fridge was full of Diet Coke. Not
Kevin
beer.
Is like Kevin used to down Pepsis and Diet Pepsis.
I remember
and Diet
this.
Cokes constantly.
Yeah, I remember this.
When we lived together, Kevin would go down to the vending machine and buy 20-ounce bottles of Pepsi and just put them away.
They were $1 back in our day.
No, the sweet shop is so. What is that little store there now? Is that still the sweet shop?
It's not called a sweet shop, but
it's called something different. But it's the same thing, though, right?
It's a similar-ish type store.
They don't have 49-cent coffees, though. I'll assure you that.
No. And then what'll be cool?
Inflation, man.
Yeah, inflation. What's going to be cool is the artisan shop that they'll have in Hewitt, where students across campus can they can sell their art at the
awesome.
artisan store. That's going to be really cool.
That's really awesome.
I forget the name of it. Forgive me for not knowing what the name.
We're new
is,
here.
Don't lash out. Don't lash out. Don't add us.
Don't. You're going to email us. Don't email us about that.
Right. So first song. Chris,
yes.
First song. What's coming up here?
It's by the presidents of the United States. It is Lump.
You're listening to 88.9 FM, WNYO, the Laker radio network from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. This station has been taken over. That's right, taken over by the WNYO and WOCR alumni. This hour sponsored by the
Throwing Bagels podcast.
And that is yours truly, Kevin Mooney.
Jason Hamo.
And Chris Douglas.
And we have a special guest joining us for this portion of Throwing Bagels. It is our pleasure to welcome in the sports director of WNYO, Derik Clark. Hey, Derik.
Hey, guys. I appreciate you guys letting me come on. Kind of the weird situation here. Usually I'm the one with the control board, and I'm usually the one interviewing. But in this case, I'm the one that's getting interviewed.
That's right.
Is this your first time being interviewed?
Believe it or not, technically no, but
Okay.
in this sense, yes.
Okay. We'll go with the first time then.
Yeah,
How about that?
first
We'll do
time.
that. What's WNYO Sports up to these days? What does it cover?
I mean, we basically do everything. I know you guys definitely didn't have it back when you guys were here, but now we have streams. We have 2 streams. We have Stream 1, which is what this is currently, and then Stream 1, usually we get the men's hockey on, and they're always a pleasure to have. Obviously, that's the biggest game, biggest sport here. And then Stream 2 is literally everything other than men's hockey, and we even put sometimes men's basketball on Stream 1, but every other sport really on Stream 2, and we do every sport. We get the privilege of being the baseball coverage because TV can't do baseball. So we get the privilege of being the only service for baseball and softball. So that's always fun. I mean, literally it's just every sport. Obviously, I'm the only sports talk show, but we always like to have interviews. Luckily the men's hockey team is one of the most exciting teams that I've ever been a part of, and I'm there every practice, every morning. So to be around, get interviews, be with the guys, it's always fun. The sports teams are always inviting. So as long as you got me behind the wheel and all the guys that I have luckily doing sports for me, we power through and we have fun with it.
So they allow you in the rink just to watch the practice?
Yeah, I actually found that out my way by being the nosy guy, I guess you would say. I did the club hockey my freshman year. And I remember the club guys always practice. The club guys here practice at like 9 o'clock at night. And I remember I had to go to one practice, and I was not happy because obviously 9 o'clock at night for a college student, I should not be going in the middle of MCC at that time. And the reason was because they wanted me to be in the team photo, which was so odd. But I was like, okay. So I went in, and I was like, how do I even get in? And turns out the cleaners leave a door open. So there's always a door unlocked. And I know what door.
Tell us which one it is.
If I did, I think the cleaners would be mad. Yeah. But I go in every morning, and Ed Gosick's so inviting. There's a seat. There was a girl who still sometimes comes. She was the leader of the student section, as I would call her. Her name was Maria, and she was there every morning. And so we would sit next to each other, and she would tell me what the student section had planned. The student section here's crazy. Yeah. She would tell me what signs people had. There was a point where, you had those weird last names that, shouldn't be last names but are. So you got the weird spellings, and we did stuff like that. The student section did. So I would have that in the broadcast. I'd be like, Maria gave me an update down there at the student section, and they're doing this and that. So she would tell me that. And Ed Gosick, he would let me sit sometimes, depending on what they're running in the drill, because I'm not trying to get hit in the face with a puck. I will sit on the away bench, and I will actually talk to the guys and get interviews, and it's just fun.
That's
they're
awesome.
inviting, and
that is cool.
Just an amazing time.
So is baseball's got to be probably the best sport to do on radio, right?
Yes.
I would have so loved if we could have done that. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Well, I thought that's what I wanted, because when I was looking at colleges, I wanted to be a baseball play-by-play guy.
Too.
And so I came to Oswego and found out they don't cover baseball because they couldn't logistically.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So hockey's the number one. All right, so I'll let me lean into hockey then, and there you go. So we wind up calling games, and it was funny because at that time, Coach Gosick was the assistant coach. And he was just as great back then, where we would interview him after the first period, no matter what the score was. We would be down there. He'd always be patient, with us. When we were like 18-year-olds sticking a microphone in his face.
Not ideal sometimes.
With dumb questions.
Very dumb questions. Yeah.
But him and Coach George Roll, who was head coach at the time, were just great, and it's great to have that relationship really between the teams and the student media. That's really a critical learning experience.
Oh yeah, most definitely, and it's just it's so fun. This is my 11th year of covering Division III hockey, which is so odd to say as a 20-year-old, but that is the case.
That's cool. That's really cool.
That's great. You were telling us before how
I'm actually originally from the state of Texas, so throw that in there mix there. My dad's originally from up here, and when I turned 8, we ended up moving up here for family reasons, and it's been a ball. I was around hockey in Texas. I was in Wichita Falls, Texas, which had the Wichita Falls Wildcats at the time, which is a junior league team. And that's where I fell in love with hockey, because in Texas, it's football. That is literally a borderline religion down there. And I go to a weird facility with ice on it, and there's these guys with blades, and I'm like, what's this? And I fell in love with it there, and it was so fun. And so I come up here and I started my own, little radio thing for Elmira College down there in the Southern Tier, and started calling games at 10 years old at the Murray Athletic Center, aka the Domes, and 10 years there. Coach Saul, who's still there, he's just an amazing guy. I've covered. The women's team won a national championship. I got the privilege of doing that. So I've held the national championship trophy in my hands.
That's cool.
And I think I was 12 at the time. We won multiple conference championships down there with women, and the men won a conference championship when I was there too. And it's it was weird, because you always hear the professionals in the world of sports are like, oh, take every yes that you do. And for me, it was, I'm just going to do it because I want to do it.
Right.
And they weren't going to stop me. I was like, well, I hope they don't. But they didn't, and they allowed me to be there, and it was so fun. And at the time, Elmira had the Elmira Jackals, which was a ECHL team.
Yep, yeah.
Now we have ironically, we now have a junior league team that plays in the same junior league that was the junior league down in Texas that I fell in love with. So it's kind of like a weird,
that's cool.
Weird melt there. But no, we had the Jackals at the time, and the Jackals allowed the college to play at what was First Arena, now the Lecom Event Center down there, and I got to call a couple games there. And sports is just everything. I mean, it's insane down there with how they do sports. And I came up here because I knew the program for broadcasting was amazing. Yep. And luckily enough, this is my second year being the sports director here. Last year was my first year. Zach Melman, who was the sports director before me, my freshman year, I became his assistant, and I was like, I'll do anything. I'll do anything to do anything. And, and being the voice for the women's team my freshman year, and then I was in the studio. I was like the main host for the intermission report here. And that was so fun. And then he was like, you want to be the sports director next year? And I was like, heck yeah. And so I ended up being the sports director. And there's some interesting stuff when you become the sports director. The sports is huge here. You don't realize it till you are the sports director. And you start, just realizing how much sports means, and you start realizing you're getting played in bars, and obviously here we get to go on the road games, which was so fun for me, because when I was with Elmira College, the only road game I got to go to was Hobart because it was so close.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So Hobart, when I went the last year, was the first time I actually was allowed in the booth, because Hobart and Elmira are actually rivals. They hate each other. And they would make me stand, when I was with Elmira College, they'd make me stand in the bleachers. And they'd put me, no joke, they'd put the football team in front of me.
Of course they did.
So I was talking trash about the home team, basically, and I 14, 15-year-old Derik's getting death stares by 22-year-old football players, and I'm like, I'm going to get jumped in the parking lot after this. And so that was that, and now we we went to Plattsburgh. Rob Finger, who calls the men's games with me, he has family up there, and I got to tour their whole. He has their whole asphalt racing team, which is funny because back home we do dirt racing. My brother's the driver. We haven't raced in a couple years because money and it's expensive. But I'm the crew chief, and we get to build race cars. So when he told me his uncle does race cars, I'm like, heck yeah! So we ended up going and touring his whole garage, and he does all this repo stuff, and he had all these freaking Mustangs that he repoed.
Awesome.
We were just
really
awesome. It was awesome. So that's kind of the cool stories that you get to do when you get to do things like this. And I always tell, I have kids literally today for the women's game, which is at 3. I have 2 kids, one of which who didn't start calling games for me till 3 weeks ago. And he loves hockey. He did soccer. He loves soccer. His name's Thomas Sherman, and they're going to be in the studio for us. And love the guys. And I tell anybody who wants to do sports for us, I don't care if you've never literally seen a microphone in your life, just do it.
Yeah.
Just do it. It's
get
fun.
the experience. That's right.
It's for the love of it,
I'm actually quite jealous that you do soccer games now, because
we do everything.
That was the thing that I wanted to do.
Chris is our resident soccer guy.
Oh yeah, no, I'm ridiculous with soccer.
Kevin and I don't know what a soccer ball is.
I'll be honest with you. I don't watch a lot of soccer. I have a nephew who is a year older than me. Crazy story. My oldest brother's 43. he played Division III soccer for a couple years. My nephew did, and so that's how I kind of like learned the game of soccer.
Okay.
And my very first broadcast was a soccer game, and I was texting him, and I was like, "Dude, tell me the rules now. I have an hour to learn everything. I don't know
That's
what's
funny.
happening." And yeah, that was we do everything. I mean, soccer, field hockey.
Wow.
That's
pretty cool.
It's fun, and I love it. Like growing up, sports is always on the TV. And I think that's probably what you guys could agree with too. I don't know if you guys grew up that way, but that's just how I was.
Oh yeah,
Pretty much.
And,
Yeah.
and it's always fun, and tonight is teal night. It's a very important game, obviously. Ovarian cancer, Ed Gosik's late wife there. Representing her and everything that involves that teal color, and it's fun. You get part of it, and I don't know. It's life here. It's so ingrained. It's so fun.
When you're the play-by-play guy, it's a very different atmosphere of being at the games, right, versus being a fan at the games. How do you see the fans when they're here? Like are they loud? Are they rowdy?
I think here for us, it's a lot. I think they're rowdy, definitely. The student section's always fun. It's just, I think the environment's just loud. I don't know if you guys been to a game in the new barn.
Oh yeah.
I know the old barn was pretty loud. To a degree.
This place has nothing on it.
Yeah.
I got to tell you,
This is the best facility in D3. I think
it's
I've ever
beautiful.
seen.
It's a beautiful
it is.
facility.
It rivals
There's no
D1.
question.
Cornell's right there, so it's right there where I am. So yeah, I don't know, but.
Well, actually, we will pick up our conversation with Derik after we take our break. And our next song, ska was pretty big back when we were in college. And
Yeah.
I can't think of a better song right now than to go to Real Big Fish and sell out. And we're back. You're listening to 88.9 FM, WNYO, the Laker Radio Network, in the middle of the WNYO, WOCR alumni takeover. Kevin Mooney here alongside Jason Hamo, Chris Douglas. We are the Throwing Bagels podcast.
That's right.
We are live.
That's exactly what we are.
Live. And you know what? Coming up after us, it's a fantastic 2-hour block of 80s. Some superstar Oswego alumni from back then, Wendy Codebra, Paul MacArthur, Dennis Prechtel from 1 to 2 today, and then the one and only Dee Perkins, host of the Oswego Alumni Podcast, will be on from 2 to 3 alongside Mark Lobel and Larry Rubenstein. That's going to be a fantastic couple of hours right there. So some new wave, some 80s alternative. It's going to be a great time.
I just love
So
80s music.
It's fantastic.
Exactly.
It's fantastic.
Stop
No,
it.
listen. The '90s were way better than the '80s as far as music is concerned.
I love me some 80s music
don't know.
too. I mean,
But-
I'm a child of the 80s and 90s. Like I love it all. I'm a kid in a candy store.
This is true, but sticking with us through the break is WNYO Sports Director Derik Clark, and so let's actually talk. So Oswego's one game, the men's ice hockey team and the women for that matter, are one game into their respective seasons after both posting wins over St. John Fisher last week, taking on Nazareth today, the men and the women and the men. What did you see from the team last week, and what are your thoughts about how this season is going to transpire?
Well, obviously, exhibition game doesn't count, even though it was great wins. I think our women's team, it was a little interesting. Obviously, St. John Fisher was their first ever game for both programs.
Yeah.
And it was kind of, I told the guys it's going to be special. You get to introduce a new team into the world of D3. But I think, looking at the women's game, it's kind of weird because obviously there's a lot of new faces. But knowing Digby as a coach, I feel like he's probably going to talk to him a lot during practice this week. He probably did. And this game against Nazareth is probably going to be him trying to tell him to ramp it up. There was points in that game. I wasn't on the call, but obviously I was in here kind of watching it, writing down notes. And there was points in that women's game where they were kind of a little slow. You kind of expect his first game, but you kind of get those nerves out. For the men, being around the guys a lot and talking to them, like I said before the break, every practice I'm there and talking and having fun with them. And right now there's a couple guys that are hurt. they can't get in the ice till actually one of our guys can't get on the ice till whiteout, which I think is kind of cool. Get to return on whiteout. But you have a couple guys that are hurt, but there's not that many new faces.
Right.
I think they did great. You win 8-3. Michael Manzi's probably the goalie that you look at what he did. He did phenomenal coming in. He played juniors in Alaska, which, as Ed Gosick said to me, juniors in Alaska is like D1 hockey because it's like just 3 teams in Alaska that constantly play each other, and they'll fly over to the other, to teams on the West Coast. But it's kind of an aggressive game. He played rough. He told me that he was going to play a little rough. He did. He played a little rough for a goal. He was giving guys a little hit with a blocker and stuff. A little chippy of a goalie, and you'd like to see that in a goalie, I guess. But he was fun to watch. There's a lot of good guys that are skating around. You just got to get momentum. And Nazareth's an interesting team because last year, or years prior, I should say, usually your exhibition games were against teams that you weren't going to play in the regular season. That's completely false this year. Nazareth, you play tonight, you see later in January on a Tuesday night here in the Deb, which is so odd, a weeknight game.
Yeah, we used to always have one of those every year.
Yep.
They're so odd and uncommon in D3 now to get a weeknight game, but it'll be fun, and you got a little bit of a learning to do, and obviously it's a big game because, like I said before the break, it's teal night. You get to wear those teal jerseys. As for me, who's doing play-by-play tonight, gonna be a little difficult to read the last names, but for a good cause. So it is what it is. But it's they're good guys. They're flying around. I talked to Jesse Horchek, who's one of the guys who's actually out. He's red shirt right now. Can't get any contact. He gives me a lot of information because obviously he's hurt and he kind of just skates around. He's having fun. And basically, Ed's the same guy as always. He wants to go to the SUNY Championship. He wants to play. He got Hobart this year in the conference, which is Hobart,
That's crazy.
Horrible ice. I hate that ice down there. That is the worst ice I've ever seen and been on. But you know what? 3 consecutive national championships. Their coach knows what they're doing. And I just think our guys are ready to go. I think we could, I don't want to jinx them, but I feel like we could play for the SUNY Championship. I think we could go back to the national championship, national tournament, and go from there. You win the SUNY for the first time in 11 years last year, and you just have fun. And I don't know. It's sports is sports here, right? So it's a big deal. But I think they're both cruising and they're both cruising. So yeah.
Do you think Manzi's going to be the starting goalie, or do you think?
I know Milberg had literally statistically the best season in his whole entire hockey career. Back even looking at juniors. So I know for a fact he'll probably be starter again. Okay. But when he graduates after this year, most definitely I think Manzi might get the nod over McCarthy, which is so odd because McCarthy actually played phenomenal last year in the 2 games that he played, but yeah.
I have to say, because when we spoke with Coach Kozik about retiring Pete Sears as number 1, and that I'm really looking forward to that weekend. And of course, your mind kind of drifts toward who might be next. And I have honestly, after thinking about it, whatever Coach Kozik, whatever his final number is in terms of total wins, that's going to be, I think, the next number.
Oh, that's interesting.
100%.
That's a really good one.
Yeah.
Because think about, I bought, thanks to Allison, my wife, who, by the way, I met at Oswego, and she's listening right now. Hi, Allison.
Hi, Allie.
Love you. But she kept all the programs from way back in the mid-'90s up through they stopped printing them around the mid-teens. And just to look back at some of those memories, but the fact is, when we were in school in 97, 98, there was 1 Canadian on the roster.
Yep.
Mark McIntyre.
That's right.
And actually, Coach Roll, when he was on our podcast, said, he presented the rosters to the president and said, here's our roster, here's Plattsburgh's roster. Let's go. Because Plattsburgh was loaded with Canadians.
Yeah.
And they ran away with the SUNYAC every single year. Yep. For us, the Lakers were like a 500 team.
Yeah.
They were getting in the play-in the first round.
That's right.
This is great. This is a great year. and then they would fight like dogs to get to the SUNYAC final, which they would get there, certainly. But the road was a lot tougher back then. But then Coach Roll kind of started that progression of recruiting aggressively across the country, across the border, up north, and Coach Gozik continued that. And then Coach Roll brought the team to the national championship game in 2003, and then resigned to take the job at Clarkson. And Coach Gozik stepped right in and took the team off to a national title. Just a few years later. So it's really between those two coaches, Roland and Gozick, it changed the complete course of the Laker program.
Yeah, I mean, and it was also Potsdam. Potsdam was also a team that had a bunch of Canadians on their team as well.
That's right.
And I think it helped that they were, so far north. They're right by the border.
Right on the border.
Get these kids coming right across. But yeah, I mean, it really, you don't want to say put anything the American kids down, because we had a lot of good players here that are American over the years, like Joe Garofalo's and those guys. But Canadian players, they tend to always just they were always a step above, it seemed like, what I mean? And there's nothing you could do about it. So we had to try to get, some more experienced players in here. And, eventually Deborah Stanley signed off on it.
Yep.
And,
Yeah.
Yeah, I think now I'll give you a little insight of Division III scouting. At least this was still a thing before I came here. I think it still is. In Canada, you kind of look at, you have the OJHL, you have the AJHL, and then you have the CCHL. And those are kind of like the 3 Tier 2 leagues that you kind of put your hands in mostly and try to grab from there. A couple of our guys, Adam Grenier, who's from Vancouver, he actually was drafted into, I believe, the OHL, one of the really late rounds. So obviously that's why he's here, I guess would be the words to use. That's why he's not on a national stage in Canada. But no, it's like you said, there was a huge shift to go get Canadians. And now you look at the roster, and it's almost like a overflow of Canadians, and that's what you want. It's Canada's sport, and it's always a good thing when you have a bunch of Canadians. But the Americans that you have on this roster as well, they're top tier guys. So I don't know. I think we have a good mix. I think every team, Potsdam, you bring up Potsdam. I think it's funny enough you bring up Potsdam, and when we went to Potsdam, here's a story for you. When we went to Potsdam, I had never been to Potsdam. Most of these rinks in the SUNY I'd never been to. And it was actually one that Rob had never been to either. And we actually got stuck in a snowstorm. And
not surprising.
The guy who runs the booth up there is like calling me as we're going through the snowstorm. He's like, "Buck's gonna drop in 30 minutes."
No.
And I'm like, we're not gonna get it. I kid you not. I don't know how we did this. We get there. We had 5 minutes. I ran to that booth. They did not even ask who I was, because they saw a guy in a suit with a big briefcase, and they probably figured, okay, that guy's from the snowstorm situation. And I ran up in there, and we have what's called a modem. It's like a hotspot, just plug it in the back. I had to use that because their Ethernet wouldn't work with us. So I'm jamming it in 30 seconds before puck drop, we connected to the board.
Wow.
no
It's
not
joke.
The first time that's happened.
No, it's not.
I was like, I put on my headset and I went right to it. And Ben, who's our GM, he was in the studio and he's like, "Dude, how'd you pull that off?" And I'm like, "Just thank the hockey gods, because I have no idea what just happened."
That happened. I think it was me and John Quantz. I think my senior year, because when I was sports director, we had to call ahead to these.
No, that was me and you. I was with you. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay. No, you're right. Actually, it was you and me. So we had a call ahead of time, right? Because I was sports director, so that was the year that we.
Yeah.
So we had to make sure that they activated the phone line, because we used phone lines back then.
That's actually something he brought up. Was the phone line. I'm like, I'm 99% sure we cannot do that.
We're beyond that technology now.
Yeah.
He's like, what? We get there, and the phone line's dead. Like
literally, we plug it in.
The offices are all closed. I tried calling people. No one's answering, because it's Saturday.
Yeah.
So Jason and I just basically were two guys in suits sitting in the stands watching the game, because we couldn't.
We sat in the press box, in the press box.
Yeah.
Was Potsdam the one we had to climb that ladder?
Yes.
Yes, it's still there. I know exactly what you're talking about. It's
I hate that ladder.
Something's never changed.
Well, they changed it from a ladder. It's like a staircase ladder. So it's still like vertical,
Oh, wow.
and it's still like a ladder, but it's like a staircase. So you're like the angle of a ladder.
No,
but
this was like a straight up ladder.
no.
Carrying up like all the equipment while you're climbing this ladder.
My question is, what was the equipment like back then? Because for us, I don't know if you guys know, we used what's called a Comrax.
Yeah, we had that.
So but for us, it's literally like, it's this, it's small, and it's like just 2 cords that we use, and then we have the headsets. I don't know if you did you have anything extra?
But we had Morant's deck. We had a cassette tape that we recorded interviews with. We would go down, use the cassette deck to record, bring it back up, plug in the tape, play the tape, while we were on the air. Man, analog.
That's crazy, right?
That's crazy.
I love it.
He's like, man, you guys are old.
Right.
No, I'm wondering because it's so interesting because the TV station still can't do road games because they've been wanting to do road games for however long, and they can't do it because, like you guys were saying, they still have to have like a whole van come up, and I'm like, well, screw you guys, we get to do it. And yeah, I mean that's literally like you guys said, it's just simple, walk around and have fun with it.
So before we get out of here, we have to ask them we got to ask them about food.
Yes.
Food,
because that's our thing. At the end of our interviews with our guests, we like to ask about food. So, is there on campus a food item that you like to shove into your face like we used to do?
And off campus as well.
Off
what you
campus
like
as
to eat
well.
off campus.
And off campus.
Okay, so off campus, I'll go off campus first because there's two. My mom can appreciate the first one. Tollies. I never heard of Tollies until I got here.
Okay.
And I get the Tollies platter, which is like the mac and cheese and the chicken, and my mom loves that. And
Okay.
Every time she comes up here, we have to go. And then fajita grill. I like to get the whole, like, you could literally just put everything in bowl action. I'm a simple guy when it comes to that. But on campus, we have what's called pallets down on the first floor of MCC. They have a garlic mac and cheese.
Oh, wow.
That's like to die for.
Wow.
All
You a
right.
chicken patty fan?
Yeah, I mean, all these answers you gave are incorrect.
We actually
so.
have a new. We actually have a new chicken patty.
What do you mean?
What do you mean?
We
What
have
do you
a
mean?
chicken
Wait a
patty.
minute.
We have a hot honey chicken patty now.
So
we have a-
someone said something about
we
this
have
to
we
us.
have a normal one, a buffalo one, and a hot honey one now. So there's
Well,
three.
Here's my question. I went to the dining hall yesterday, and I did not get a chicken patty.
That's
They put
ludicrous.
They got rid of the buffalo wings now. They sent out an email and everything because kids kept they literally had a fist fight over buffalo wings. Like no joke. Like I go to late night, and it was the one night I go to late night because I live in Fennell. It's connected to Cooper, and that's where late night is. And I'm not joking with you. In the line, these two kids were fighting over like 3 buffalo chicken wings, and they literally started throwing hands.
because they were the last one.
Yeah. They literally were throwing hands, and they're like, "All right, we're not selling. We're done. This is
that's
not happening
insane.
anymore."
That is insane. That's
So-
a bit much.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an interesting time in the middle of the dining hall.
Yeah.
Well, Derik, thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, it's been a
on
pleasure.
the
Thanks for hanging
podcast.
out.
Oh,
Appreciate
yeah.
it.
You guys are awesome.
It's awesome. We do want to thank Derik. We want to thank also Kai Arishtian, Ben Goldblatt, Dr. David Kreider, Dana Murphy, our old GM when we were in
Yep.
school.
Dana, that's right.
Yep.
And Dr. Jennifer Knapp, of course, all helping to make the WNYO takeover possible. And with that, we arrive at our final song.
Oh, wow.
Final song.
Of the day, and it's a spectacular one, squarely in the late 90s.
Oh, yeah.
Right when we were in school. Jason, take it away.
So this song, we had this singer, this rapper came to campus. He was in the old ballroom in 1996 in the spring, 1997, spring of 1997, singing this song, "Let Me Clear My Throat."